All right, I'm just gonna start this hoe because I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, here we go. Hey y'all, welcome back or welcome to the Honestly Truly podcast hosted by me, Tyler Cimone, and today is Saturday for me. I don't know when you're watching this, probably on Tuesday when I drop it, all right? And this is episode 2. I'm not gonna lie to you. This still feels weird for me to record with the camera on. It does feel weird. I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying. But it definitely is a little bit weird. I like it. It's a fun thing, okay? I'm up here. I feel like it's cool that we can see each other. I'm here for the vibes. But I can't lie. It is a little bit, I'm still kind of, getting into it. Because I usually just be in the corner of my room with a bonnet and a big t-shirt on, huh? Okay? And so now I'm up here. I got some clothes on, okay? I got a little hair, I got my little bayang, you see it. And so it's weird. Oh, now they're trying to text me as soon as I start the podcast. Hold on now. Clear that out. Okay, we're gonna just start. We're gonna just do it. We're gonna just get into it. Let's go ahead and just do it, okay? Now you're dying to know, what am I drinking? Let me let the people hear it, for the people that are listening, okay? You probably can't hear much because it's hot. But guys, we're drinking a tea today. I don't know what the name of this tea is called. I think it's like some kind of immunity building tea because it's getting cold out here and we don't have time for the games. But I forgot what it's called. I know it has echinacea in it though, and it tastes great. But if you don't know from last season when I talked about this, I like to collect mugs. Okay, so now that we have some video, y'all can see my mug. And so my mom got me this one for my birthday this year, and so it has like a little lid so that you can like steep your tea without it getting cold. And so yeah, it has a little crown lid. It's super cute, and I think it says something nice on the front, like what did it say? Sometimes you forget you're awesome. So this is your reminder. Thanks, Mom. Okay, but it has this little thing on top so that way my tea was like steeping this whole time. And let me set that down. It was steeping this whole time and it's still hot and let me taste it. Woo, my God, today. Delicious. So that's what I'm drinking today, guys. It's quite good. But let's go ahead and get into our topic because, to be honest, I do not have a short story long, a long story short. I don't have one this week. This week has been super busy, and I feel like anything that has had time to bother me, there was no time, actually. There was no time. It was just busy all week. Good week, but just like lots of stuff going on, lots of things to do. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to record this weekend too. So it's just been busy, y'all. But that's okay. We're going to just skip on in. We're going to get right to it. Oh, wait. Oh my God. See, look, I'm forgetting stuff. Let me let y'all in on something. Come here. This is actually the first episode I'm recording. It's going to be episode 2 for you guys, okay? But it's my first episode. So I'm still like getting back in the zone of recording and the flow of how it goes, especially with me adding on video for you guys. So it's like giving weird. It's giving, how do I do this? It's been a second. How long has it been? I think I stopped in August. Or no. I stopped in August, I think. So it's been like August, September, like around 2 months. So I didn't lose it all the way, but I think it's still like just adding on something different too. It makes it a bit weird. So I forgot something. Before we get into our topic, which I'm very excited to talk about, we're going to get into our song of the week. Okay, so this week, my song is We Share Love by Skip Mahoney and the Casuals. And you're probably like, who the hell is that? They're a group that came out, I think they released this album in 1974? Let me look, y'all. I want to be accurate with my stuff, okay? Go back. How you find it? Okay, 1974. Yes. I'm going to enter a little picture somewhere up in here so you can see the album cover. And guys, I've been listening to people's podcasts and they be playing music, y'all. So what's the truth? I don't know. I need to do some more research and figure it out because I don't want to get like the whole copyright, demonetized situation. And so but I also really, really would love to play this song for you guys and play all the music that I decide to put on here because I want to put y'all on. And it's different. It's different when you can just hear it right now versus you having to go when this is over and go and find it and listen to it. You may forget. And I want you to be on my team. I want you to listen to what I'm listening to. I want you to feel it in the moment right now when you're listening. So I'm going to keep looking into it because people be playing it. So I'm just trying to figure out how does this fall? What is the situation? I'm going to figure it out. In the meantime, okay, so let me tell you the story behind this song. So first, I was listening to some random playlist on Apple Music, and a song called what's it called? Oh yeah, a song called "An Idea" came on by I Am Nobody. I've never heard of them before. I've never heard of the song, but the first like 20 seconds of the song is just "We Share Love," right? They sampled it, right? And so I was like, "What is this? I love it." And so the regular song was good. I really liked the song. And when it was over, I like sampled. I did some little research sampling, okay, and then I figured out what the name of the actual song was, which is the "We Share Love," right? And I listened to the entire album, which is called Your Funny Moods. And it's actually so good. I actually recently found it on vinyl, so I'm going to order that soon because I want to be able to listen to it on my record player. But the whole album, top to bottom, is good. And what I really like the most about it is if you're into those kind of songs, like back in the day, like what's one of the songs that probably everybody knows? What's that song called? Roll up in a big old ball. Because I Love You. Okay, Because I Love You. That song where he's like, at the end of it, he's like, I watch TV till the TV turn off. And, and he's, being sad. And, he's sad because his girl don't want to be with him no more. I like when they do that talking at the end of the song. That's good for me. You know what I'm saying? And so they do a lot of that in this album. And so the whole album is good. Please go listen to it. I'm going to link it in the little description box below so you can check it out and see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be ordering that on vinyl because it just is so good to my ears. Okay. And I wish I could play it. And you know what? I would sing it, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not feeling it. But I don't want to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it right if I sing it. But go listen to it. Okay? Now, into our topic. Let me drink a little bit of my tea. Okay, guys. I have been wanting to record this episode since June 25th, 2023, which was my birthday this year. When I turned, 25? Oh my God. Draco season with the book bag. Rat tag got a little kickback. Cheers. Yes, I turned 25 this year, and I really wanted to do an episode with you guys where I shared some of my biggest lessons that I learned. And so, like 25 lessons for 25 years. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, there won't be 25 lessons in this episode. We're gonna be here all day. Don't have time for that. But I got a couple of like the ones that I feel like I've learned, the biggest ones that stood out to me when I was reflecting over things that I've learned in my adulthood or I guess over my entire life too. And so I'm going to just share them. I'm sure y'all will resonate with majority of them. Some of them they're all specific to me because they're my lessons that I've learned, but some of them are specific to my specific situation. So I'll share those too. But yeah, guys, I'm excited about this. I just want to share what have I learned. And y'all know I like to talk about all things adulting and learning how to be a better adult and a better human and growing as an adult and growing in this world and society. So I feel like my little lessons kind of reflect that. So let's get into it. Y'all gonna see me looking over here? All right. I got to read these lessons off because I've been writing them down. I've been writing them down since April or May. And so I just went through and picked the ones that I felt were best reflective of things that I've learned or also things that I'm still learning because to be honest, I haven't mastered all of these things, but there's things that patterns and themes and stuff that I feel like I've realized throughout time that have helped me. So we're just going to get into it, okay? Let me get the first one. These are in no particular order also, okay? They're all typed out in a note. All right, y'all, let me see. Oh, let's see. Where do I want to store? Okay. Now, some of these also I got from different podcasts or different people that I listen to and watch. And I like the way they worded it. So this first one is from, I think this was from, what is this called? I think this was from Everything Is We, Vicky Logan and Cameron Logan's podcast. It's really, really good. Y'all go check it out. But I forgot what episode it was from, but basically the note that I have from it is know what you care about. So you have to tell them what? God, we stuttering already? Come on. Let's try this again. Okay. Lesson number 1. No one cares about what you care about, so you have to tell them so that they can care about it too. And basically my point for this was saying, I just wrote, we can't expect people to show up for us in the way that that we'd want them to if we don't tell them how we want to be treated. So we can't expect people to be mind readers and just know what it is that we want them to do or the way that we want them to treat us, or do the thing where it's like, well, if I treat you this way, then you'll reciprocate it. No, people don't. That's not how it's going to be every single time. Some people can catch on, but that's not the situation. I'm sure that I have failed at that many a time. So I feel like something that I've learned is maybe the way that I show love to somebody or the way that I treat somebody is the way that I want to be treated, that's fine. That's cute. But if you don't use your words to let that person know, you can show an action as well, like by doing what you do. But if you don't tell that person, hey, like, this is what I need from you. I want you to treat me this way. This is what I desire out of our relationship. They're not going to be able to reciprocate it. And you're going to be mad. And it's like, you can't be mad that they're not doing what you want them to do when you did not tell them. And that seems so simple, but I feel like that has caused some issues for me because I don't open my mouth and say what it is that I need all the time. And then be upset when I'm not getting what I want. And that doesn't make any sense now, does it? No. So that's my first lesson, that you can't expect people to read your mind, and you can't expect people to care about what you care about. That's not how it works. You have your things that are important to you, that fuel you, that get you going, that you're passionate about, and so does everybody else. So if we can find a way to communicate those things to other people so that they can care about what you want them to care about, they'll care. And I feel like, or show up for you in the way that you want them to show up for you, or treat you in the way that you want them to treat you, if you do not communicate that clearly to them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you say it one time, they're going to get it. It takes time for people to adjust or change certain habits they've developed. But you can't expect people to do what you're doing for them. Like, you can't expect them to treat you the way that you're treating them, because they're not inside of your brain. They don't think like you. They don't operate like you. Their thought processes are not like your thought processes. So the way that you think something's like, oh, this is so simple. Why don't you already get this without me having to say anything? I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. You have to communicate with people. You have to be patient with people, because it takes people time to transform and change the person that you want them to be, or do the things that you want them to do. It's not going to happen overnight, because people didn't have the same background as you. They don't have the same experiences as you. And I think that when we lack patience, that makes this really, really hard. And I feel like now I feel like I'm a pretty patient person, but I definitely feel like in the past I was not very patient. And I also didn't really want to say what it is that I needed, because maybe I thought, I'm just thinking now, okay, maybe I thought, oh, well, if I just love you the way that I want to be loved, you're going to catch on. You're smart. You'll get it. And no, sweet baby, that's not how it works. Sometimes it is. I'm not trying to say that no one can catch on that way, but it would be so much easier. We can cut all the extra out if we just get to the part where I tell you, this is what I would like you to do. And understanding that doesn't mean that that person's going to immediately like get it and it's going to be great. That's not how it works every time. But at least knowing, like, let me communicate with this person, let them know, hey, this is how I would like you to show up in my life. Does that work? Can we do that? And sometimes it won't, but in the times that it does, give that person some grace, let them have some patience, let them catch on to what you're trying to ask for, and it'll be fine. But you can't expect people to be inside your head and just get what you need. And if you continue to think that way, you're going to end up being in a place where you're lacking in most of your relationships, because you refuse to communicate and just say what it is that you need, and whilst also giving that person grace and being patient and allowing them to not, I guess, change into, or not even change, that give them the patience to kind of show up for you in that way that you're asking them to. Because most of the time, people who love you and care about you and value the relationship that y'all have, they're going to show up for you in the way that you want. They're going to try, at least they're going to try their very best. But you're robbing them of that opportunity to do that for you if you're not able to just tell them and not be weird about it and just say it, and don't expect that they're going to just know what to do. Okay. That's it for that point. Okay. All right. Point number 2. All right. I'm going to sing. Live how you want to be, who you want to be. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know that was really good. I know you didn't know I could sing like that. So you're welcome. But yes, as y'all know, that's from Brent Faiyaz, if you know that song. And I think about that all the time when I'm thinking about living my life. Like, I think that I'm an overthinker. I'm better at it now, but I'm an overthinker. Y'all know that from, if y'all listen last season, you know I talk about it all the time. And so sometimes I feel like I put myself in a box, and I am very careful, overly careful with what I do, and I'm always overthinking everything before I do it, and that means it takes me forever to start things, and procrastination kind of kicks in unintentionally. I'm not trying to put things off, but I also want things to be done a certain way, and I want to be disciplined, and I want to be on track, and I want to be getting things done, and I want to make people proud, and I want all that, and that's wonderful, and that's noble, and that's great, but when I overdo that, I think I rob myself of just living my life and doing my thing. And not saying that I shouldn't be disciplined. Like, discipline is definitely important. We should be disciplined. We should have our goals set and know what we want to do, and that's all beautiful. But I feel like there's like a balance to that where you can be focused and be meeting your goals and working towards your goals and all that. But you can also live your life and not make everything so rigid, and you can be a bit spontaneous. And you can kind of just do what you want to do, live your life, just be you. And I feel like that seems so like, oh, well, duh. But for me, I think that because I want to stay on such a straight and narrow path, and I don't want to deviate off, and I want everything to go in the path that I want it to go in, that sometimes I rob myself of just like chilling and living and just being, because I'm so concerned. I was so concerned with making sure that things got done a certain way. And it just didn't leave a lot of room for like freedom and fun and like living. It's just all very like, very stern. And so, yeah, I feel like, let me see what I actually wrote, because I want to see what I was thinking about in that time. I was saying that to stop holding yourself to a strict set of rules society has for you, or that you have set for yourself, and that's what I was referring to. Because it's really good to be disciplined, but you have to pivot sometimes, you have to adjust sometimes, and make a new rule for your life if you want to, and that's your business, huh? Okay. And that's really how I feel, and so I think that I probably started learning this maybe a year and a half ago, but just like knowing that things are sometimes going to change and things are not going to go exactly to plan, and you got to swallow it and keep moving. And so I feel like that's something that I'm learning. Yeah. I had an example to go with this, y'all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want to add this point in. So like, oh my God, I kind of want to just read this verbatim. So I wrote like so underneath each lesson I want to share with you guys, I wrote like a few little notes. And this one I kind of wrote a book. I'm just going to read it really quickly. So I said, this is an example. I was really stressing out when I was trying to get this episode out on my birthday. All right. So initially I wanted to have this episode done and released on my birthday to celebrate my 25th birthday. But life was lifing at the time. I was very, very busy. I was also doing birthday plans. Life was just incredibly busy, as it always is, I guess. But it was just like a lot going on. And I would have put out a lackluster episode for you guys had I rushed it. Had I rushed it and just did it to get it done by the date that I had originally set, and just trying to stick to that schedule, it would have been a bad episode because I didn't have as many lessons laid out. I wasn't prepared to start the visual component yet, and I really wanted to do this episode with y'all being able to see my face. Okay. And it wasn't going to be the way that I wanted it to be. It just wasn't going to be, I just didn't feel like it was going to be the right time for me to do it. But I also wanted to hold myself to what I said. And so I feel like it's just like a little bit of a toss up there, being like, that's fine. It's good that you want to stay accountable to the schedule that you set, but also understand like, okay, right now, if you choose to do that, that's your business. Like I said earlier, but if you decide to do that, you might be producing something that is not what you wanted, and that you're not going to have good energy for. And that's going to make you feel dissatisfied with it anyways. When you go to post, you're gonna be like, ew, this sucks, I'm not gonna want to share it. So just kind of being like, girl, do what you want with your life. If it's not working, if it's not going to be on schedule like you planned, that's okay. The world's not going to end. And I think that, I used to be very uptight on certain things like that, to where there was no room for variability. There was no room for, it's not going to be that good if I do it right now, so I'm just going to wait. There was no room for any of that. And I think that I'm trying to give myself more grace in that area of not holding myself to such a strict schedule, and to allow myself to adjust some things and change some things if something is not working for me or if something's not serving me in that time. And like I said, of course, there's boundaries around that, and you can't just cast your schedule to the wind. And I don't do that. I'm a very scheduled person, but for certain things, I feel like God, just take relax, chill. Um, but yeah, that's that. Let's get to the third one. Okay, this is a quick and simple one, but this one is number 3 is life comes in cycles, and that's normal. And this lesson, I think for me, is just realizing like life is long. Life is long, and okay, here's a little Bible for you, huh? And Ecclesiastes, amen. Go and read it, huh? Go into the book, amen. Basically, that whole book, that whole chapter, not chapter, the whole book of Ecclesiastes is basically in my interpretation of it is it literally is just saying like, hey, there's nothing new under the sun. Like everything that you think is brand new ain't brand new. It's all made up. Nothing is really new and different. It's all the same. They just twist it a little bit. And read it so you can get a better understanding of what I'm saying. But when I think about life and cycles, that's things are going to be for a season. Things may suck for a little bit, and or maybe in this season, maybe your finances are not that great. But your relationships are great, and that kind of sucks. Maybe you can't take all these trips, but you've got a good support system around you. That's awesome. But then a year from now you've you got a new job. You're up financially, and now you can do more. You can travel again. You can do this kind of stuff, and that's kind of what I experienced. Where there was like a season where I was super sad because I had responsibilities that made it to where I had to say no to a lot of trips and say no to a lot of things. I had to focus on what I was doing, and I really had a hard time with that because I felt like I was missing out, and I felt like I wasn't getting to be fun. I felt like my 20s were wasting away, like the drama. Okay, it was drama. But and I remember I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was kind of just letting me know like, hey, it's okay. It's going to pass. It's fine. It's all right. And this was like in the beginning. This was like towards the beginning of when I first started therapy. So I was like really like, oh my God, I just like oh, I was really going through it, y'all. But it wasn't really that deep. Now that I'm out of it and I can see things like, hindsight's 2020. Now I'm like the drama. It wasn't that deep because then I think so that was like maybe like 2021 or something when I was going through that, and I was really sad. And I was just having a hard time. I was just like, whatever. But then fast forward to 2022, I was on a plane more than I can't count the amount of times I was on a plane in 2022. I was moving, I was shaking, I was traveling, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. And that's just one example of cycles that I realized in my life so far. But I think that just lets me know, like, it helps me to stay calm and have peace in a season that doesn't feel that great. So when things are not that great sometimes, or whatever your situation is where you're having a bad season or a bad situation is occurring, I think that you should try to remind yourself that this is something that's literally not going to last. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't suck or doesn't hurt in this moment. That's definitely true. I'm not trying to dismiss the feelings that you feel, but more of understanding that this is going to happen and it's cycled in, so it's going to cycle on out. And I feel like for me, that just gives me a lot of extra peace and understanding when I am dealing with the emotions that being in a certain seasons will bring. So yeah, that's number 3. Oh man, this is another one. Why did I put this in this order? I'm not trying to cry on the podcast. Okay, I'm not gonna cry, y'all. I got it together. Okay, now this is another gem that I got from therapy. Okay, so when was this 2020, 2021? Yikes, I don't know, those years kind of melt together. But I was figuring out career stuff and figuring out what I was going to do, and it was a whole lot of stuff. Very emotional for me, because I had a plan and things weren't going to my plan, and it was stressful. And so maybe I'll do another episode to kind of update you guys on that, on how that's going now. I won't get into it, but go back and listen to season 1. I don't know what episode that is, but the episode is called In a Gray Space. And I think that's where I talk about career stuff, I think. But I have to do a little update episode. But anyways, I was kind of dealing with that and just having a hard time figuring out what way to go, what to do. And my parents have always been very, supportive and always been like ready to help me work through, talk through, all that kind of stuff. And I'm an only child. If y'all don't know, I'm an only child. And I think that sometimes, I don't know, like I said, maybe some other only children can step up and second my thought, but I think that sometimes you can feel an additional pressure to make sure that you're successful and that you turn out well and that you make your parents proud. And I think that every child wants to make their parents proud. But I feel like I had maybe a pressure that I even put on myself, but like a pressure to show up a certain way and be on my best behavior and be very good and be very successful and don't make any mistakes. And I'm not saying my parents put that on me. I think that's a me thing that I put on myself. But because of that, it made making decisions on my own hard, because I would look to my parents, and if they were like this, I was like, okay, yeah. But if they were like, I was like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? And we should look to our parents for guidance, because they are wiser than us for the most part, and they have lived this life before us. So I always wanted to look to my parents for guidance when I needed something, which isn't bad. But I think that it got to a point where I couldn't even really think clearly about what I actually wanted, because all I wanted was to do what they wanted. And not saying that what they wanted for me was bad or wrong, but if it's not what I want also, that makes it kind of weird, you know? And I hope I'm explaining this in a way that makes sense. But basically, I was kind of working through this in therapy, because I was like having such a hard time making decisions. And I feel like that's the next one I'll do. But decision making is a very big lesson that I have learned over the past, 3-4 years. It's been a lot. But I found it super hard to make decisions for myself based on the life that I want, because I really just wanted to make my parents proud only. But I was working through this in therapy, and I was kind of explaining everything that I just said to you guys to her. And she, like I said, what I always say about therapy is that why I found it beneficial for myself is because literally I'm spitting out all my emotions, all my thoughts and feelings, and she was able to kind of sort and sift through them in a way that and package them up in a way that I could understand. So she took what I already said. She didn't add nothing to it. She took what I already said and what I already felt, broke it down, put it back into a cute little box, a nice little organized box, and handed it back to me in a way that I could digest it better, you know? And so in that moment, she did it very, very well. And basically it was something so simple. I just couldn't I don't know, my brain just couldn't get it. And she was basically saying that, you know, it's good that I want to make my parents proud, and that's awesome. But they're not going to always agree with what I do. And that means that they may not always, I may not always include them on every decision that I make. That may not be the case. And I don't know why that broke me down. Oh my, when I tell y'all, okay, hey, for the girlies who are thinking about doing the therapies, all right, don't do a morning session. Don't do an early morning session, my boy. Don't do it. Because when I told you, I did a early morning, probably like an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock session before I went to work. When I tell you I got off the phone with that lady and I got in that car and I cried the whole way to work. I got it together. I went to work, did my work. I fought back tears at work. I don't know. Okay. Then I got in the car, drove home, and cried the whole way home. I said, now she done shook me up like this early in the morning, messed up my whole day. I was distraught. And it was something so simple, something that I probably felt like I should have already gotten. Like, I don't understand why I didn't get it for myself prior to her just saying something so simple. But it really changed things for me, and not in a way that I don't talk to my parents. I don't share things with them. I still share things. We still talk. I still look for them for advisement when I need. That's what they're there for. That has not stopped, but just understanding and having some peace and knowing that sometimes they're not going to agree with what you say. And sometimes you're not going to walk through every intricate step of your decision making with your parents. You don't do that anymore. That's not what it is. And I had to just, I guess that's what therapy is for. I guess it worked. Okay. Because I now have an understanding of that, and it makes navigating that aspect of my relationship with my parents a lot smoother. And I think it just makes me not be so defensive too, because I could be defensive, like you telling me that you don't like my idea. Now I'm mad, and so that's not conducive for a healthy relationship that I want to have with my parents. Also, especially when it comes to my life, career choices, and things that I want them to support me in, but also understand like they may not agree with it, and I have to be okay with that. And that doesn't mean that my decision is bad or wrong. You feel me? Yeah. So that was a really big lesson that I learned, and I feel like that has really it really impacted me. That's one of the biggest ones, I think. Oh, okay. So this is one. This is lesson number 4 or 5. I don't know. I lost count now. Okay. This one is called study your arts, girly. Okay. This is something my dad used to say to me all the time. It actually ended up being my high school yearbook quote. I think it's in one of my bios too. One of the social medias. Okay. But basically, I feel like it's from a movie or a TV show. I gotta ask him where that's from. But basically, my point behind this is study what you're into. If something is intriguing you, even a little bit, explore it and see what it's about. See if you like it. Learn more about it. Talk to somebody who does it. If it's something that you can do with your hands, go and try it out and see and do it. Because you never know where your life could take you and what hobby or career choice or thing that you could be doing or would really, really enjoy or benefit from if you don't study it. And for me, it's something that I learned in the past year because, I've kind of had the lesson for a long time, but recently I feel like it showed up in me exploring more of my creative side. Excuse me. I've always been pretty creative, but I don't. It's weird though because up until probably last year, I wouldn't call myself a creative person. Like I know that I'm creative. I like doing things like I like doing event planning and I like decorating and interior decor and stuff like that and doing that's fun, that's nice, but I wouldn't have really called myself creative because I really didn't exercise those muscles that I already had. Honestly, because I don't know if I knew that I had them, at least not to this extent. And so over the past like year and a half, I've really tapped into a lot of my creative side with this podcast and with like graphic design stuff and event planning. I planned a wedding. I've done some things like I'm just trying shit. Not saying that there's no thought process behind it, but I think that I am trying to pay more attention to things that I am naturally good at and things that spark my interest, and I'm trying to give them my attention. Because I feel like in the past I was so one track mind on other things that I did. If it wasn't what I was trying to do, I'm not trying to hear it. And it's good to have a certain level of focus to be able to do the thing that's in front of you. But I think a lot of the things that I have tapped into over the past year and a half have really brought me joy. They've been fun. Some of them have made me money. But a lot of them have just been enjoyable for me, and they have like unlocked another part of myself that I hadn't tapped into before. And so my encouragement would be like, if there's something that's kind of like, this seems cool, or maybe you saw something that someone else did, and you're like, hey, I could see myself doing that. Like, listen to yourself, and go try it and see it. You might end up hating it. Cool. Scratch it out. It's done. Like, you might end up hating it, but you also might end up loving it. And if you do, that could just be something that you do for fun. It could be something that you do as a side hustle to make some money. It could be something that you just do to enjoy yourself. But I think it's important that we give attention to things that spark our interest and see how they can be beneficial for us, whether for just creative abilities, for monetary advancement, okay, however you want to put there. But that's that lesson. Study odds, girly. Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, this is gonna be fast. Okay, I'm gonna make this one quick because I talked about this in the previous episode last season. And I don't know what the episode is called. I'm not gonna lie to you. But basically the point is you own your time. So be mindful of your wording and the ways that you say things, because what you say is what you manifest in this thing. Okay, so it's like, I don't have time for this, I can't do that, I don't know. You do, and you can, and you will. And I feel like that's something that I've been more intentional with over the past couple months is when I say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to do this. I had time. I just chose not to make this time to do this thing for X, Y, and Z reason. And not saying that everybody deserves that depth of explanation for certain things. But for me, I'm more referring to when I'm talking to myself. When I say that I didn't have time to do something for myself, or I didn't, I let the ball drop on something. Usually, sometimes the ball's just gonna drop. Okay. Sometimes. Oh, I crack myself up. Like, what? Come on, grow up. Where was I going with that? See, I lost my train of thought. That's my fault. Sometimes, like, things are just not going to work out. But for the most part, when I think about myself, when I don't have time for something, usually I could have had time. If I would just slow down and look at my schedule and move some things around, or just take a deep breath and know that nothing's that serious, I can get the thing done that I say that I want to get done. So just be mindful of what you say and how you manage your time, because you have more time than you think. Everybody's schedule and everybody's day is different. So I'm not trying to dismiss anybody's super busy schedule. I get it. Like I said to you at the beginning of this episode, I had a really busy week that didn't leave a lot of room for pretty much anything. So I completely understand. But I think that just reminding yourself that time doesn't own you. You're not lacking in time. You own your time. You own it. So you choose what you do with it, and you choose how it works. It works for you. You don't work for it, So that's something that I've been trying to just remember. When I feel like I don't have time to do anything. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to clean my room. I don't have time to do my hair. I don't have time to call, and I don't have time to, you have time. Just think about it. Just prioritize. Let's see, what else do we have on here? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, I haven't really mastered this yet. I'm not going to lie to you. But I saw a tweet, okay? And this tweet is by Miss Tylar Cimone. It's great. Oh, my God, Miss Tylar Cimone. Anyways, I'm just realizing that we have similar names. But her tweet says, some days you really need all of your energy for yourself. Please honor that. And I was like, that is so true. And it made me think. I think I forgot when I found this tweet, what day it was. This was some months ago. But it made me think about, I don't have a lot of days that are just about me, where I only do what I need to do to take care of myself. Excuse me. Pretty much every day, I'm always doing something for somebody else, which isn't bad. That's good. We're in community. You're helping your friends or your family members, your kids, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, all the things. That's not bad at all. But I think that sometimes we help and do for people to our detriment. So like, let's say you have an assignment that you're trying to get done, but you end up helping your friend do this, then the third. That's not wrong. That's not a bad thing. But if you do that all the time and you're not getting stuff that you need to get done, it can turn into a bad thing. And so just remembering to prioritize yourself and not making yourself feel bad for being selfish. Because I think that sometimes the word selfish gets a bad rap, and it's like, selfishness, you're bad, you don't care about other people, you don't make time for other people. But I think that being selfish can also be a good thing if it's done properly. If you're prioritizing yourself when you need to, if you're saying no when you need to, I think that it can work in your favor. I think the next day after I read this tweet, I literally just did what I want. If it didn't really serve me, I didn't do it. And I don't mean that in it doesn't serve me, so I only serve myself. No, just being in the terms of, okay, I have some things I need to do, and I'm going to put myself first in every situation today. So if I'm in the middle of something and someone calls me and they're about to ask me to do something, I'm gonna just wait. Let me call them back when I finish what I'm doing, because I need to finish what I'm trying to do. And so just kind of not making being selfish have such a bad rap on it, and using it to your benefit when need be. Okay, that was a fast one. I think I'm almost done, guys. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This one, I feel like I'm still learning this lesson right now. This one is literally just going to be, just bring it to God. Okay. And for me, this shows up as me reminding myself that God is all around and he sees everything that I'm going through. He knows what bothers me. He knows what makes me happy. He knows, he sees everything. And so if that is the case, and I believe that, then there's no point in me trying to act like God didn't see that just bothered me, or that just triggered me, or I didn't like the way I was just treated, or he sees me doing things I shouldn't be doing, whatever the case may be, whatever that looks like for you. God has already seen it. So I think that sometimes, as I'm learning to like process my emotions and deal with thoughts that come up and triggers and all that kind of stuff, I think that um, I think that how do I want to say that? I think that sometimes I know what the right course of action is for me to get out of that funk. Like if something has just bothered me and I'm a little bit triggered or I'm a little bit irritated, I think I know myself enough to know what needs to happen for me to feel better, because I don't want to feel triggered. I don't want to be in my feelings. I don't want to be uptight. That's not how I want to feel at this moment. And so I know that for me, I can talk to God about it and kind of just get it off of my chest and hand it on to him. And usually it helps me to feel a little bit better. But sometimes I don't want to do it because I don't want to admit that that's how I'm feeling, which is so stupid, because he knows what you're feeling already. He's there. He saw when it happened. He knows when that person offended you. He knows how that boss or that coworker or that boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to fill in the blank there, however that person is making you feel, he saw it, right? So he's not blind. He saw it and he heard it and he knows how it affected you because he knows you, right? So he can already tell how you're feeling. And so for me, I'm just like acting like, oh, it's fine. Like you didn't just see that. It's cool. And I sit there in my feeling and sit there in my distress. When I know like God is literally right here and he saw that happen. If I can just share that with him and kind of get out my chest for a second and just share that, it'll help me. And so I found that a lot of the times when I'm going through things that are stressing me out or irritating me or hurting my feelings, instead of acting like it's not happening and trying to push my feelings down and act like nothing bothers me, I could just talk to God about it, get it off of my chest, and then maybe that will help me to know what to do next. Usually it does. I talk about it and I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes the feelings just, I'm cool now and there's no more feelings and I'm fine. I don't need to do anything about it. Other times there's a course of action needs to take place and it's like, okay, you need to go talk to this person. You need to go sort this out. You need to go take a break. You need to go take a walk. You need to go eat. Huh? You're just hungry. This is just hunger. You just need to eat. You need to go eat something and you're going to be fine. And so I think that that's something that I'm learning, is to just give it to God. When I'm dealing with an issue, don't try to hold it up and act like it's not happening. Be real with yourself and be real with God and trust that he knows what to do with your feelings and he wants to help you with them. And so, oh, my camera about to die. That's crazy. Hold on. This is what I wrote. Okay, I said, he already sees you doing what you shouldn't be doing. So just include him in it so that he can help you work through it. All right. Because I think that sometimes I was like, I'm only bringing the big things to God, like, career changes, marriages, kids, whatever your big thing is that you feel is big enough to bring to God. That's what I was bringing only. And just starting reminding myself and learning that God cares about the smallest things. And I came to that realization over times where he has pulled me out, amen, and he's gathered me, amen, for things that are so small and that feel too small to bring to him. He's helped me maneuver through those things. And so just reminding yourself that you can bring everything, whether it be, you know how many times I prayed for a parking spot? Yeah, it's the smallest things God will do because he cares for you in that way, to where he cares about not just the big things that bother you in a season, but he cares about your day-to-day life, the small things. He wants you to have what you want and to be okay. And so it's important that we also learn to bring those small things to him as well, because he cares about those just as much as he cares about the big things. So like an example that I wrote down because I have no sense was you're trying to what did I say? Okay, so you're telling him that you want to steward over your finances and you don't want to just be spending frivolously, and you want to be, saving more and paying off debts and things of that nature whilst, also calling in your order down to the Wingstop for a 6-piece bone-in all flats, half lemon pepper, half hot lemon pepper with fries well done, 2 ranches and a Sprite, no ice. Now that could be me. I don't know. I don't know. I might have done it. I can't say. But like he sees you right now. He sees you calling in the order. Like he's right here. He knows what's happening. You might as well just let him know, like, listen, I'm trying to be better, but these wings got a hold on me. Huh? That's the kind of prayers I pray. I don't know. I just be talking to him and telling him what's really going on. Because to be more serious, we have, you have your friends or your family or people that you rely on as a support system when, you're dealing with things. But some things you don't share with them. Some things you don't know how to talk about. Some things you feel stupid bringing them because it feels so small. That's what he's there for. He wants to hear all those things. So just reminding yourself, like, for the things you don't feel comfortable talking about or you don't know how to talk about, whether how big or small they seem, give them to God, because he's the one who understands you better than you understand yourself, and is going to be able to help you work through those things that are stressing you out or bothering you or triggering you, whatever word you want to put there. And so, yeah, that's that. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm getting hungry. Let's see. All I had today was 2 hash browns. They were good, though. Them Trader Joe's hash browns, huh? Delicious. Put them in the air fryer for about 20 minutes. Flip them over in the middle. Don't say I didn't tell you nothing. And then, okay, we're almost done. Yes. Okay. This one's a little light. This one just says, write it down. Make a list. Okay. I am a sticky note queen. Okay. I have probably sticky notes in every room of this house, reminding me to do stuff, reminding me, about everything. And I don't have any shame about it. And as an adult, I think that we need to do lists. Okay. I love a good check off. Okay. And I feel like that's something that we all need. So if you have some things you need to take care of and they're just, you realize that every single day, something's always not getting done, or you keep forgetting to do certain things, there's no shame in your game. Write it down. Write it down on a sticky note. Write it down on your notes app. They have a little to-do list thing there. Set some reminders in your phone. Utilize your technology, okay? But we need lists, because if I would not do so many things if I did not have a to-do list. And you know what? You got to do it in a way that works for you. But for me, I'm going to write it down on some pen and paper. That's what I'll do. And I'll check some things off. And so this is just a simple tip, okay, that has really helped me to just stop trying to act like I can remember everything, because I can't. There's so many things to do, especially as you're growing as an adult and you got new bills and relationships and businesses and jobs and things that you're trying to do. You can't remember it all. You're only one person. So write some stuff down, create some boundaries around what you're going to be doing, and get stuff done. Okay. Last one, guys. This one's a light one. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into it. This one is just let things go. We're going to round out here because, like I said, this is already going to be like an hour long. Let things go. This is something this is a quote that I found, and I just took a screenshot of it. And I said, it says, "You will find that it is necessary to let things go simply for the reason that they are heavy." And I was like, okay. And this is written by C. Joy Bell. That's what it says. Okay. But some things, for me, this comes up as things that I may have let myself or let someone else down in the past, or ways that I feel that I've failed, or I've made a mistake. I can be really, 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 really hard on myself, which causes me to hold stuff. So even if the thing has been resolved, or maybe I apologize to that person, or whatever the mistake was, I fixed it, or whatever happened, or whatever way I embarrassed myself, and I put the quotations, because really, like, embarrassment, like, you can't embarrass me. Anyways, back on point. See, I done lost it. Come back. Even after I fix whatever the issue is, I'll still hold on to it, and it'll be the middle of a wonderful sunny day, and I'll reflect on what I did wrong, or the way that I didn't show up, and the way that I failed in some way, and now my whole day is ruined. And that is just I think that's a thing of constantly forgiving yourself. When you do remember things that you did that you are not pleased with, and letting go, I think I think it's something I also learned in therapy. I think that letting go is a consistent and a constant letting go. It's not just like, all right, done with that, and I drop it. Not for me, at least. That's not the way my brain works. So for me, it's not just like, oh, I did it, messed it up, I apologized, or the situation fixed, and now it's over. No, it's like a thing where whenever something reminds me of what I did, I have to be like, dude, it's okay. You did your best with what you had in front of you in that time. It's over now. You've done your best to resolve it. You have to let it go. It's okay. And literally, that's a consistent cycle of me saying that over and over and over again. And I think the lesson that I'm learning is just to get comfortable with that. And I know I talked about cycles earlier, so this is, I guess, another variation of that. But just getting comfortable with the fact that you're going to have to keep letting go. It's not going to just be one time, at least not for me. And I think over time, as time goes on, I think that helps you to like more fully and maybe more fine, like in a more finite way, like let something go. Especially like the longer it's been since it's happened. But I think that just being comfortable with the fact that things are gonna come back up that are gonna remind you of mistakes that you've made, because I've already made some mistakes, and this will not. I'm gonna make more. Like what? I'm 25. There's gonna be a lot more mistakes, and I think that I'm just getting more comfortable with that, the fact that I'm going to make mistakes, and the fact that that's okay because you're learning life. Like this is your first time doing this. You ain't never been your age before. You've never lived this way before. The things that you've experienced have helped you along the way, but this is your first time here. You've never done this before. This is not your second time. So it's just like giving yourself that grace of knowing that you're doing the best that you can with what's in front of you. And if you can genuinely say that, and you can genuinely agree to that point, that you're not just living willy-nilly, you're trying to be the best person that you can be. You're trying to be the best friend or the best husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, father, daughter, son, worker, boss, whatever word you want to put up in there. You're trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And you're not always going to get it right. You're just not. You need to be okay with the fact that you're not going to get it right all the time. And there's going to be some mistakes that are going to be made, sweet baby. And some of them are going to be your fault and your fault only. And so I think that being able to recognize that and be okay and have peace with that, and be able to start slowly letting those things go and letting those mistakes go, because you've got new ones coming up ahead. You ain't got time to be dealing with those and those. Okay. I think that that's something that I'm still learning now. So that's a newer one. But it's also a really good one. And I think I've said peace like 17 times in this episode. And so I think like that's like another one that just like, hey, let's keep it cool. Let's keep it peaceful out here, because you don't get time. Your mind is already a little bit, a little bit crazy. Let's keep it on track. And so, yeah, I'm gonna end it. That was good. Okay, we're already. This is like an hour-long episode. I'm about to edit a lot of this out, y'all. Okay, I'm learning, friends. Okay, the amount of times that I have stopped and started this camera during this episode. Child of God. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna edit this, and you know what? It's gonna be good. I'm gonna stop and eat lunch first, okay? Because sister girl is hungry. But yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm so happy to be back to be recording, and I'm trying to get more comfortable being in front of this camera, and it's still very weird. I'm trying to like get back into it. So just please give me some grace as I try to get more comfortable with this. But I'm really happy to be doing it. I'm happy that I can see you guys. And I hope that you're enjoying this. So if you did, please go down, comment below. If you just hit your whatever milestone birthday it is for you, whatever, please in the comments, share with me. What is a lesson that you've learned this past year? The year's coming to a close, so share with me what's something that you've learned. I like to hear it. If you are listening right now, come on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, watch the video, like it, all the things, and go ahead and comment on there too. I really would appreciate it. It helps me to help more people through the podcast. But anyways, guys, I'm about to go because I'm hungry. Yeah, I got to go. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. I hope that you enjoy this episode. I hope that you have learned something from my mistakes and failures and the lessons that I have learned. Yeah, okay, 25 per. Okay. Bye, y'all. Love you. Bye.